Hey community group leaders and teachers, I hope you all are doing well, having a fabulous day. Hey, I'm excited to share another Leadership Minute. This is one more tool that you can have in your tool belt to lead more effectively. Today, I want to talk all about leadership development. Over the last several weeks, we've been talking a lot about how we can build momentum for our community groups. We talked about building momentum by casting vision and get everyone on the same page with that vision. Last week, we talked about how to build momentum for our groups, specifically by talking about the politics of Jesus, not the politics of the day. Today, I want to talk all about building momentum for your community group by multiplying yourself as a leader. See, Jesus had this pattern throughout his ministry of intentionally investing in a few people who then go out and invest in others and radically multiply their faith by investing in other people who would invest in other people who would invest in other people. Paul actually puts it this way in 2 Timothy. He says, "Entrust what you have been given to faithful men who will also pass it on to others." We have a clear challenge in Scripture to invest in other people. I believe the best model for that is almost creating this sort of apprenticeship model where you intentionally choose one or two people who you believe have the capacity to do what you do as a leader. That's not to say that you are invaluable as a leader, because you're incredibly valuable. But that's to say that you can take what you have learned and pass that on to someone else to effectively multiply what you're doing by investing in them. Now, the process of investing in them might look something like what Jesus did, where he was intentional in walking with his disciples by letting them see what he did. He would then talk with them about what he did. Then he would take a moment where they would do something together and he would talk about it. A third step, he would let them do something and then they would take a step back and talk about it after he observed what they did. Finally, he would deploy them to go out and do that, and he would grab a new bunch of people. The truth is that we're called to do the same thing, to intentionally invest in individuals by first inviting them into the picture in the conversation and saying, I believe God has a good plan for you. God has called you to lead other people and invest in them, and I want to be a part of the journey of you growing in that. And so why don't you watch what I do, and then let's talk about it. Second, let's have a moment where we get to share responsibilities a little bit and talk about what worked and what didn't work, what did you learn, and how can you grow as a leader because of that. Third, let's take a moment where then you, as an apprentice, get to do something hands-on and I observe, and then we'll talk about it. And then after a season of things going well with that, it's time to deploy. Now, in your group, that might mean that you multiply your group, literally multiply into two groups. If your group isn't growing that big, that's all right. Now you have multiplied yourself and you have an opportunity for yourself to be able to go take vacation or do something else, knowing that someone else has the capacity to also be responsible for doing what you're doing. This is the Jesus method of multiplication. The goal is raising the bar for discipleship to help people grow into the leaders that God has called and designed them to be, to help them be more than just individuals who are consumers, but help people grow and always be growing and multiplying and learning how to grow in their faith to effectively be the disciples God has called them and designed them to be. After all, a disciple, a mathetes, is a disciplined learner, one who is intentionally learning what the rabbi is doing so he or she can ultimately become like the rabbi and do what the rabbi is doing. I hope that's helpful for you and is one more tool in your tool belt to help you learn an effective model for multiplying yourself into other people. Hey, I'm excited to see what God is going to do this year as we intentionally take this and these other tools about building momentum for our group to watch our groups multiply in leaps and in bounds as God uses us and uses momentum in our groups in 2021 and beyond. I hope you have a wonderful day. Hey, many blessings, friends.